Hello everyone, and welcome to my young and restless official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Billy laughs when Sally punches and cuts the pillows into shape at his house. She's determined to make tonight great because she knows it's crucial for him. He is certain that fluffy pillows won't be the reason if things go wrong. Before the doorbell rings, he gives her a kiss as a thank you. Billy summons the visitors. Diane is holding Jack's arm. They enjoy what Sally has done to the place as they take in its surroundings. Billy claims that her excellent taste deserves all the praise. Diane uses the occasion to explain to her husband that trust is the key. As his wife explains that they had to move into the club while the house was being renovated, Jack declares that they are homeless. Living in the lap of luxury isn't a huge deal, Diane teases. Billy acknowledges that Diane contacted him to seek for his approval of the redecoration, but he was unaware of its scope until he passed by and noticed the construction workers. This makes Jack anxious right away. Diane reiterates that it's only a remodel in an attempt to reassure him that it appears to be more than it is. Sally tries to reassure him by telling him that she was always shocked to see how big crews were needed to do even the smallest tasks when she worked in home decor. Diane implores her to avoid bringing up demo crews so that Jack won't suffer a heart attack. Diane informs her husband that they can restore it to the old and dated museum he once adored if he doesn't like the renovation. Billy's decision to shift the topic is welcomed by all. He expresses gratitude to everyone for being present during this pivotal moment in his life. He wants to express his gratitude to his big brother for believing in and encouraging him throughout what feels like a fresh start. Over the years, they have had disagreements, but never because they weren't in love. He is certain that Jack believes in him and loves him. That is crucial. They raise a glass to Abbott Communications and Jack. Jack gets up and toasts. He never lost faith in him, even if his brother didn't feel it. After more disappointments and defeats than anybody he knows, he has always been admired for his tenacity and fortitude. Billy has always pursued his goals with zeal, ingenuity, and classic Abbott obstinacy. Because of his capacity for forgiveness and love, Jack is confident that his most recent endeavor will be a huge success. Billy jokes that he had better not make a mistake after all that while the brothers embrace. Diane dampens the atmosphere once further by questioning whether it makes sense to include Phyllis in this. Billy asserts that she will contribute and exert all effort to ensure its success. Diane interrupts, well, let's hope this redemption tour is more successful than the last 100 or so. Billy doesn't want to justify his choice all night long. Jack shifts the conversation to the launch, but his brother then confesses that Phyllis has been hard to get in touch with since she left town to pursue some enigmatic alliances. Diane exacerbates Jack's anxious expression. Declaring the supper ready, Sally leaps up and ushers Billy into the kitchen. Jack begs his wife to stop disparaging Phyllis. Diane cautions him that his former partner could ruin his investment. When he agreed to pay for it, did he even realize she was involved? He requests that she put this off until they get home. Diane invites the redhead to give her a tour while Sally and Billy bring in some lunch. Jack apologizes for his wife after they have left, but Billy doesn't give a damn about Diane's opinion. Jack promises his brother that he will follow his gut. However, it's concerning that Phyllis is fleeing. That's audible to Billy. Take caution, says Jack. Jack is worried about the decor. YNR. What Lily has discovered has shocked Nate. Nate is serving his cousin's champagne in his penthouse. They raise a glass to the company's expansion and success. Lily was instrumental in closing the 6-month-long merger negotiations. Nate gives her a toast for helping them cross the finish line. Devin goes on to say that she is the greatest. They are simply overjoyed that she has returned to her rightful place. After everything she had to endure, Lily is amazed at how she got there. She acknowledges, I suppose Victor Newman was correct, damn him. The conversation shifts to Damien and Amy. Lily says he needs to know a few things about his half-brother. Sitting and sipping her champagne, she says that after Damien pushed to meet with her, she had him looked into. She was curious as to whether the story was as simple as it appeared. Nate informs her that he wouldn't have asked her to go into his half-brother's background. Devin is more worried about what she discovered. According to Lily, she visited Victor Ynr. Lily pours more champagne and clarifies that Damien is not the owner of the two businesses that were allegedly his. Arabesque, a private firm, is the true owner. Aristotle Dumas owns the two businesses that Damien serves as CEO of. After hearing the name, Devin clarifies that nobody is even aware of his appearance. According to Lily, he makes a conscious effort to conceal his involvement. She considers Damien's lying about such issues to be a serious red flag and wonders what else he might be lying about. Nate questions how Denise learned about this, wondering how she missed it all. Although she tries to avoid giving a direct response, she is forced to acknowledge that it was Victor. Although his cousin tells Nate that that man is not connected, Nate is incensed that he is anywhere close to his place of business. What this Dumas guy has to do with this is the subject of their argument. Nate reiterates that he never urged Lily to become engaged when she acknowledges that she had met Damien a few times and that there has always been something off about him. She reveals that she thought she could help with the Amy situation, so she accepted Damien's invitation to go out for Nate's sake. Lily argues, "I was trying to open this box of lies he's been telling you since he came to town." According to her cousin, none of that matters. Only Damien and Amy are involved. His half-brother might become enraged and leave town without thinking about Amy if he finds out he is being probed. Lily says she's sorry. Her relative is aware of her good intentions. Amy has helped him understand a man he lost when he was too young, and he has come to care about her. In addition, he and Damien remain related as brothers regardless of the circumstances. His cousins fear that he will be harmed. Nate is constantly afraid that relying on Victor may backfire and drive Damien away. He implores Lily to respect his personal space and stay out of this. They understand, and Nate apologizes if he has come down too hard. He believes his brother is secretive for a good reason and is attempting to give him the benefit of the doubt. Devin agrees to help however they can. "Just leave it alone, please." Nate asks, "I have this." Nate finds Lily's actions annoying. Ynr. Amy and Damien discover some things in common. Amy and Damien are seated at a table in the athletic club's dining area. She declares that she is prepared to respond to all of his inquiries. Damien is unsure of where to start. Presuming that chamomile tea is still her favorite, he orders them a pot. His mother is moved that he recalled. Damien is aware that they have a long way to go before they can set things right. She doesn't expect a speedy repair and is pleased that they can share a memory. Both of them find this difficult. Finding out that he believed she didn't give a damn about his father when he was dying devastated her. Amy keeps thinking about how scared and isolated he was. Presuming he could take more than he could, she exploited him. He apologizes and acknowledges that he was only considering his own feelings. She thanks him for it while crying and declares that she will be pleased to die if they can even partially heal their hurt. Damien hears Amy Ynr. She remembers his cat, Figaro, and grins when she smells the tea when it arrives. In order to gently inform his father that they had a pet, they concealed the cat inside the house. However, Jackson fell in love with him the moment they met. Figaro refused to leave his room after Jackson passed away. Damien is also missing that man. He was his father's universe, according to Amy. From the first minute they met, they shared an unshakable relationship. He almost had to be delivered by the side of the road on the day of his birth, they remember. His father was the first person to hold him after he was born. His expression was one of pure adoration. She is forced to swear by Damien that he was unaware that he wasn't his real father. He claims that after she did, he never once had the slightest suspicion that Jackson was telling the truth. She struggled to keep the secret, but she was unable to do so because of his father's strong bond with him. She also couldn't tell Nathan. His family would have been devastated by that. Amy wished that her embarrassment would disappear, but it persisted. It felt as though a weight had been removed when Jackson passed away. She believed she could die with the truth, and her lie was safe. But after receiving the cancer diagnosis, she underwent a transformation. She didn't want him to be alone in the world without knowing he had a family after learning she was dying. Amy never imagined it would be easy to tell him the truth. She hoped he would get in touch with Nate, but she anticipated him to be upset and saddened. Despite how difficult everything has been, she has no regrets. Even if it's after she's gone, she still hopes that one day he would forgive her. They used to have a close relationship as well. He is unable to dispute that. Before his father passed away, he had a wonderful childhood. It was a horrible period. They lost Jackson first, then one another. Amy had imagined that she would age and wrinkle alongside Jackson. She didn't manage it well and wasn't prepared to lose him. I didn't either, Damien acknowledges. His mother vows to do everything in her power to undo the harm. She claims that's all she needed to hear when he says he's willing to try. Also, YNR star passes away. She doesn't eat much when their supper arrives. He believes her leukemia is the source of that. It's a fight, Amy informs him. They discuss Nate finding her a new oncologist. Although Amy isn't hoping for a miracle, her kid encourages her to have hope. If nothing else, she'll go see the newest physician to appease Nate. She has reconciled with both her son and God. She just needs that miracle. She has unexpectedly become close to Nate, who is a decent man. Damien makes a show of forgetting Lily's name and asks her right away how well she knows the rest of Nate's family. Despite her lack of knowledge about them, she loves Audra. He inquires as he eats as to whether the cousins are trustworthy and decent individuals. She hopes that his inquiry indicates a desire to learn more about his half-brother. Damien and Amy talk about his cat YNR and the past. Jack tells Diane he has misgivings. Diane believes Jack is still upset with her when they get to the athletic club's door. Although he acknowledges that he worries about Phyllis just as much as she does, he wants his brother to feel inspired so he can soar. She claims that flying anyplace with Phyllis will inevitably result in a disastrous landing. Diane and Jack talk about Phyllis's problems. YNR. Sally calls the evening a success after he and she clean up back at Billy's. He inquires as to whether she believes he is making a mistake by dating Phyllis. Sally sighs deeply and acknowledges that Diane was right. However, only he can determine the extent of this issue. Billy admits that there is a problem with this. Phyllis must be aware that this is her final opportunity, so what might be going on? He would like to speak with her. She asks, "Are you concerned that something happened to her?" According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, have been abducted and are being detained at the Havenhurst Psychiatric Facility. To find out who is holding them hostage, let's examine the hints. Who is really responsible for their kidnapping, as Phyllis and Sharon point the finger at one another? Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers were both drugged. Both Sharon and Phyllis thought they had been drugged before to their abduction. Phyllis and Sharon talk about their strange pre-existing dreams that might support this. Sharon points out that Phyllis may be responsible for their predicament because she received assistance years ago. The song that was playing on the PA system also caused Phyllis to become very agitated. Sharon asked Phyllis to try to recall why the music was so upsetting to her. These two must strive to work together to free themselves because they are collaborating to stay alive. It appears that the song is related to Phyllis's history with the kidnapper, even though she was irritated at the time and didn't want to try to help. What role does Phyllis play in Misty Moon? Misty Moon by the Sunset Sound, starring Shelby Lynn, is the sound's title. Dreamtime is another name for the album, which is precisely what Phyllis and Sharon were doing at the time of their kidnapping. The song seems to allude to the period of time when Phyllis pretended to be dead and caused much grief. Jeremy Stark, James Hyde, Phyllis's ex-partner, implemented this strategy. Ironically, Phyllis essentially did the same thing as Jeremy to get him to leave her that day after she stabbed him with a pair of scissors. Like Sharon did with Heather Stevens' Vale Bloom, Phyllis flung his body out and walked away. Considering what Phyllis did to Jeremy, is he still alive and seeking retribution? Is Patty Williams possibly associated? Since Patty Williams, Stacey Hayduke, had stories about both of these women, there are rumors that she might be connected. Naturally, if it's not Patty, someone might be pursuing Phyllis and Sharon on her behalf. But if we continue with the song, I must somehow have a connection to both Phyllis and Sharon. Maybe this relates to the new role Michelle had posted on social media about David Pressman's recent casting. In either scenario, Sharon and Phyllis must cooperate in order to survive. According to spoilers, things might get a little weird. The identity of the kidnapper and their relationship to Sharon and Phyllis will only become clear with time. Return often to find the answers. For all things YNR, come here. For all of your young and restless news, spoilers, and updates, return frequently. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.